Sequel number 102. Welcome to the Church of Uganda at 150 years, a celebration. In this particular sequel, we are celebrating the life of a young man who was born in July 1916. And in future sequels, we shall do a follow-up of this man. But in this particular sequel, we celebrate his birth. In July of 1916, a young man was born in a very small village called Nyangilia in Koboko among the Kakwa people of northern Uganda, southern Sudan, and northwestern Congo. Now, according to the Kakwa culture, this boy had to be dedicated to Mountain Lilu, found in Koboko. And it was once dedicated to the mountain that he could be confirmed to be a Kakwa, because if he wasn't, then the mountain would speak and reject him. He was lucky. He was accepted as a Kakwa, and he grew strong, and he lived a very long life. During the name-giving ceremony of that young man, he was given the name Alege. We shall come back to the name later. Koboko area by 1916 had not yet been visited by missionaries, so there was no Christianity in Koboko at that particular time. The missionaries from the Africa Inland Mission arrived in West Nile in 1918. That was 2 years later, when he was 2 years old. And as a matter of fact, the Christian or the Church Missionary Society refused to establish a mission in West Nile. For one, they lacked native evangelists from the area, and they had no willing missionaries to be placed in the area. As a matter of fact, Bishop Tucker first visited West Nile in 1903. He went there with Dr. and Mrs. Cook, the doctors of Mengo Hospital. And even then, they visited Nimule. Now, Nimule is on the far end of the West Nile, so they did not go to Koboko. And therefore, Koboko was to remain in darkness for that long. That explains why Alege was not baptized till the age of 14 in 1931. And he was actually baptized in Nyangilia, his home county of Koboko. He was baptized the name Silivano Goi Wani. And this was after his own father, because his own father was called Ada Wani, and his mother was called Miriam Da. Now, with the name Silivano Goi Wani, you can see he dropped the name Alege. And there are reasons recorded by himself for the dropping of the name Alege. But we shall come to that later. Let's first visit this area of Koboko and identify the geographical border posts. To the far north is Yei. Yei is in southern Sudan. To the far east is Ada, that is in northwestern Congo. And then, of course, Koboko. So it's a triangular geographical area. And at that time, this area was not even recognized as part of Uganda. But anyway, Uganda was not yet born. Then, this Alege happened to be the firstborn in a family of 10 children. And one of his brothers called Silivano Wani, a younger brother, had migrated to Arua. And so he was able to return to the village and pick Silivano Goi Wani from his subgrade bush school at Nyangilia to Arua. By that time, remember, the missionaries had come, and these were the missionaries of the Africa Inland Mission, not the Church Missionary Society. And they had established a station in Arua at a place called Muvara. And at Muvara, they established the elementary vernacular school. That vernacular school used to teach not Kakwa, but Lugbara. For some reasons, Lugbara is much more spoken in West Nile than any other sub-languages or sub-tribes. And so he learned Lugbara, and he also learned Swahili. Now, it is Swahili which became a treasure for him, because he was so good in it that one time he was even able to join Kampala Nominal School to upgrade his status as a bush school teacher. And so that's how this young man, Silivano Goi Wani, landed in Arua. But as much as he was schooling in the elementary vernacular school, he was also working for the missionaries in their mission. So he was earning some money as a worker at the mission, and at the same time, he was a student. The question now arises, why are we in this particular sequel celebrating this young man? Here is the reason. That this young man, as we shall see in future sequels, grew up to become the third native Archbishop of the Anglican Church. It's therefore worth celebrating. But his appointment as an Archbishop caused controversy, because he came from the same tribe as the president of that time. The president of that time was called Idi Amin Dada, who was also a Kakwa, and who had just been found responsible for the death of the previous Archbishop, who was called Janani Luwum. And so when he appointed, his fellow tribesman was appointed an Archbishop, there was an outcry from certain quarters that the appointment was not by the House of Bishop, but it was by Idi Amin. Now, in this particular celebration of our years, research has been made, and we can state with authority that that allegation was false. Idi Amin Dada had no way he could have interfered in the appointment, because, according to the minutes available, the House of Bishops looked at the most senior bishop in terms of who had served the longest and who had the least years before retirement, and that was Silivano Wani. And it was based on those qualifications that he was made the next or the third Archbishop of the Anglican Church. However, despite all these facts, the rumor has continued. Some have even written books alleging that he was appointed because of his tribe, and that Idi Amin had a very big hand in his appointment, an allegation that has been completely found to be untrue, as we have just stated. And therefore, it is worth tracing the birth of this young man, which we have now done today, and in future sequels, we shall see his rise. We shall see him at Kampala Normal School. We shall see him back in Koboko. We shall see him going for ordination course in Mbale. We shall see him going for military service as a chaplain. We shall see him back as a parish priest. We shall see him becoming a diocesan secretary. We shall see him being promoted to the province, and we shall see him being consecrated a bishop and finally an archbishop. He's therefore a man who rose through the ranks to the top. And those who claim that Idi Amin put him wherever he was put in 1977 just missed the point. We are lucky that as we celebrate our 150 years, we are able to know the truth. We are able to start putting the truth in its place and celebrate our church in the right way. That was sequel 102. May the good Lord bless us all.